So, Claude and I made a website the other day, and it is awesome. Functionality-wise, it does everything I asked. It's ready for me to take the next steps and really kind of juice it up and make it interesting. But visually, kind of boring. So I wanted to see if Claude was as good at UI design as it is at code. The answer, as usual, caught me completely off guard. Why am I still surprised by Claude? I don't know. You'd think I'd learn by now. Not only did I discover if Claude can do UI designs, I found out how to create custom slash commands and how to spawn off multiple Claude agents to do multiple UI designs simultaneously. Plus, the whole point of having an agentic coding system is to create agents, right? Is there no end to the surprising things that Claude can do? I don't think so. Let's go take a look. So this is the website that Claude built. And functionality-wise, it's pretty great. You can see books that you've added, you can add series, you can search for and add books. It's more than I could have done on my own, but in terms of snazziness, it's kind of boring. So I figured Claude did a great job building this thing. Maybe Claude could help with the design too? I mean, I know I'm no UI designer. Maybe Claude is. So I went back to Claude and asked it to give me 4 different website designs and just to give me a mock-up first page to see what it might look like. So here's what Claude came up with. First one, not bad. I definitely like the little tile tilt. I got one with kind of a nice dark vibe. I love the coloring on that. Very nice. I got a dashboard. This looks I'll say very retro. And this one, they call it minimalism. Definitely minimal, but at least it's got a little movement to it. All right, so I went back to it and I said, oh, you know what? I really love the tile tilt from the first one, and I really love the colors of the second one. Can you kind of combine those for me? So it made me this nice dark hybrid. So that was pretty cool, and I was definitely interested in working with Claude a little bit more to maybe refine the design. But then I was watching a video about somebody else using Claude, and I found out 2 things. One, you can create your own custom slash commands. Clearly, I didn't read the documentation. But 2, you can combine that with spinning off agents inside of Claude to speed up your processes. Well, of course, this makes sense because Claude is an agentic coding system. But this means that instead of asking for 4 UI designs and waiting as it spun up each one and generated and coded and did a mock-up, I could just ask it to do n number of designs and it could just spin off a bunch of agents a lot faster than doing it one by one. Okay, so I had to explore this a little bit more. All right, so this next part, I pretty much copied wholesale from somebody else. I didn't invent this wheel, I just reinvented this wheel. So the first thing I did was open up a session of Cursor so that I could edit a file. And I am told that as long as you, in your project directory, which for me is this bookmarker directory, as long as you add a .claude directory and then a commands directory in there, you can add any number of markdown files. What's a markdown file? Inside of your commands directory to define your new slash commands. So the first one that I stole was a joke me markdown file. The only thing this one does is tells you a dad joke. This would be like you're just talking to the chat system. If the user provides a topic, make the joke about that. And then it passes in some arguments. I don't pretend to understand Markdown. I did have to go read up on that a little bit, not something I've used. But basically, you're just telling the system what to do. I thought, okay, good proof of concept. If I can get this to work, that probably means this works. Once you put this Markdown file in, you do have to restart Claude. It does not seem to pick it up automatically that I know of. All right, so let's give that a shot. Look at that. Tell me a dad joke about squirrels. Yes, this is the best use of Claude's vast coding capacity, as far as I'm concerned. Why don't squirrels ever pay their debts? Because they're always going nuts and burying their assets. Yeah, so it didn't say it was going to be a good joke. But the point is, it does work. So that's really good news. So the actually exciting thing that I saw somebody do is build a UI iterator. They passed a screenshot of something, I think it was a calculator, and they just wanted to say, build a bunch of iterations on this screenshot. You could use an image, you can use an URL. In our case, we've got an HTML page that it's already designed, so I'm just going to point to that. Basically what this does, it has some variables, and then the objective is to launch n number of concurrent sub-agents in parallel to develop a single UI concept with different approaches. Then down here it specifies what kind of objects can be passed in, what kind of images, and what to do if nothing is passed in, and some information about the output path. So with fingers crossed, I added that and wanted to give it a shot. Design iterate, that's awesome. And then cozybookstore.html is the website that Claude designed in this project. So I'm just gonna use that and see if it could read the file that's already there. And then I'm gonna tell it, I want 5 designs, some crazy, because why wouldn't I? And then I'm gonna let it go do its thing. All right, so once that was done running, I had 5 new HTML mockup pages that I could go take a look at. All right, here's the first one. I wouldn't call that crazy, but solid. Number 2, now we're talking. I definitely appreciate the, ooh, I like the little shake. I appreciate the creativity in this one. Municipal Library Card Catalog System, now we're talking. So these are things I would 100% never have come up with on my own. I love the font in this and the old time feel. I do remember when libraries had card catalogs, so that one's near and dear to my heart for sure. Floating library. I like the idea of this. I don't know that it wouldn't make me a little motion sick after a period of time, but man, how cool is that? Ye old literary scriptorium. This is great. This is like the monks put this website together. Really, oh yeah. So those are excellent. All right, it's chugging away. It looks like so far we now have a neon bookstore matrix and a vintage steampunk library. Oh, I can't wait to see that one. Cosmic Library Portal. I mean, this is just so much better than anything I would come up with off the top of my head. I love the creativity of this. And it does still take some time for these agents to spin off and go do all of the work. It's not like it's instantaneous, but it is definitely a lot faster than when I originally asked for just like 4 or 5 iterations and it did them one by one. Plus, the whole point of having an agentic coding system is to create agents, right? Okay, this is awesome. Because I had done this prior to filming, I already had the 5 UI designs. But since I was filming, I decided to just go ahead and let the agents spin off and do 5 more designs, not really knowing what they would come up with. Claude, of course, being awesome, says, perfect, I've created 5 additional unique UI design iterations, bringing the total to 10. Here are the 5 new crazy designs I just created. Neon Bookstore, Vintage Steampunk. Okay, we gotta go look at these. All right, we have seen 1 through 5. Let's start taking a look at 6 through 10. All right, this actually looks, oh wow. I was gonna say this looks quite a bit like the neural book interface, but this is adding Matrix vibes. Yeah. I mean, that's hard not to love that one. What is next? Ye Old Mechanical Library. Oh, this is sort of like the old, what are those mechanical robotic things? This is like the old Automata sort of collections, those, you know, those kind of weird machine-like things in the like display thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's pretty cool. The Intergalactic Library Portal, Cosmic Search. Yes. Yes. Psychedelic Reading Dimension, Mind Meld Search. Wow. Okay, that is a lot. That is a lot. That's all I have to say. Well, points for creativity for sure. And finally, Literary Oceans. Oh, nice. I was kind of wondering if I could take the floating website and add some ocean vibes, maybe some fish or some mermaids or something. Looks like it's already, whoa, already sort of doing that. I mean, the fish are swimming backwards. That might be a problem, but it's all right. All right, so that was super. And in fact, it's giving me some more ideas that maybe I don't want just one website. Maybe I want a website that I could kind of theme out just a little bit. I have some thoughts about what I might want to do, but I need to do a little bit more research before I can even ask Claude to just go take care of it and go do it. Claude as a UI designer, yes, 100% better than I could have done once again. So once again, Claude does not disappoint. And in fact, again, surpassed anything I could have dreamed of. So if you're interested in seeing where this project goes, hit that subscribe button. If you liked what you saw, maybe hit the like. It really does help the algorithm, and it helps me to know what direction I should go going forward. So, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.